Tonight on KGW News, yet another horrific crash.
Do you think it was something out the sky?
I don't know.
The disturbing images as a small jet crashes moments after takeoff in Philadelphia.
So we are asking everyone for their thoughts and prayers.
And what we're learning about those on board. Also tonight, a family pleads with the judge to keep a man suspected of killing his girlfriend, then crashing his car behind bars. But first, see you later, dry January. Welcome back, winter weather.
Forecasts can change, conditions can change really quickly.
As we keep a very close eye on the chance of valley snow. Welcome to the weekend. David Mulco here with you on this Friday night where preparations are underway for our lowest snow levels of the season. This is a live look outside as we track the rain and snow chances into the coming week throughout the Portland metro and beyond. So let's get right to live team coverage. Catherine Cook has a winter travel advisory from city officials, but we begin with Matt Zafino to break down the timing. Matt?
You can feel it getting cooler out there tonight, but the showers have been pretty sparse since the steady rain moved on through earlier this afternoon. You can see over the valley right now, there's really not much rain at all. Not much upstream at the moment, but it is still snowing in the Cascades, and that'll be the case overnight tonight. So let's break this down by elevation zones. Above 2,000 feet, up into the Cascades, 2 to 3 feet of snow through the weekend and beyond. It's going to be very, very snowy up there. 1,000 feet to 2,000 feet will also be very snowy, 4 to 12 inches there. So that means if you're driving up to the mountain, it's going to be a long road of snowy conditions. 500 feet to 1,000 feet, maybe a few inches, mainly later Sunday and Sunday night. And for us here in the valleys, if you're rooting for snow, you're going to have to wait because I don't see it sticking on the valley floor. In fact, I doubt we even see snowflakes tomorrow, but we will on Sunday. Sea level to 500 feet, a rain-snow mix, but not sticking just yet. So another way to look at the headlines, valley rain showers tomorrow, rain snow mix on Sunday, but not sticking on the valley floor. The heavy Cascade snow and slippery in the hills potentially Sunday night if we get a couple inches up in the West Hills or any of the hills around town. Timberline right now, 28 degrees. Hasn't cooled off that much yet, but it will. There's been about 9 inches of new snow. And when we look at the snowfall forecast for Mount Hood, it's pretty impressive as we go through the week. We're looking at snow every single day, snowy roads, and keep in mind, you're going to be driving a long time on snow. If you're going up to the mountain, the avalanche danger is high as well. So lots to talk about. We'll talk about even colder weather coming our way earlier next week, David.
All right. Thanks, Matt. We'll see you in a few. Let's bring in Catherine Cook now. Catherine, you heard Matt there talking about the freezing levels, the snow zone, so to speak. And it sounds like, though, officials here are not taking any chances.
Yeah, David, the warning or maybe even the plea from transportation officials is be ready for anything, whether we see snow or not. We're going to start this story off with some file video. A quick reminder of how snow, even a little bit, can send Portland drivers into a tailspin. Now, the amount of snow you may see in the coming week could vary greatly depending on where you are. So Portland transportation officials have some advice.
At this point, the bottom line really is vigilance and being prepared mentally to drive for the conditions you find.
Dylan Rivera wants you to know PBOT's crews are ready. Their priority is clearing one passable lane in each direction for public transit, first responders, and everyone who needs to get around. On Friday, PBOT issued an advisory asking drivers to be extra careful in the coming days, especially overnight, in the mornings, and in higher elevations. That said,
it's too soon to say anything like avoid travel Monday morning.
And then there are the freeways, I-5, 205, 26, and 84. State transportation officials have their eyes on them.
We are ready. We spend literally months preparing for this.
Ryan McCrary with ODOT encourages drivers to check road conditions before heading out. He suggests tripcheck.com for that. If you're crossing mountain passes, he says carry chains and know how to use them. Also, build in extra travel time.
Never, ever try and pass a snowplow on the right.
Speaking of Sanders and plows, ODOT entered this winter facing a $354 million budget shortfall, which the state said could eat into winter road maintenance. But McCrary says they're fine this season thanks to a $19 million bailout from Governor Kotek for winter road maintenance.
That funding has basically helped keep our maintenance levels steady with what they've been in past years.
Good thing, because we might get a snowstorm soon. Back live in downtown Portland. No snow tonight, just very, very cold. And transportation officials say it would be a great idea to take this weekend to prepare for whatever next week brings. Make sure you've got water and supplies and those traction devices. Put them in your car, get a full tank of gas and a full charge. And again, just be ready for anything. David.
Yeah, all good advice. I just got a snow brush, ice scraper, and ice cleats just in case. Thanks, Catherine. Never hurts to be prepared, right? Stay with KGW for continuing coverage of our weather impact alert. You can get the latest forecast anytime on our KGW app, also on our smart TV app that is called KGW Plus. It's available anytime on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Developing tonight, another plane has crashed, this time a small jet, into a Philadelphia neighborhood. A warning. You might find the video disturbing and difficult to watch with the crash recorded from several different angles. Take a look. That is Ring camera video showing the explosion as a Learjet, a medical transport plane, plummeted to the ground about 30 seconds after takeoff. All 6 people aboard are presumed dead, including a child who'd been treated in Philly for a life-threatening condition along with that child's mother. Incredible image is here. The group was from Mexico. The plane was headed to Tijuana with a stop in the Midwest. The jet went down near a shopping mall, impacting homes and vehicles.
Some of those employees there are my friends. These are my family around this area, so I'm just so concerned about everybody's safety.
6 people who were on the ground at the time were also hospitalized. And this comes just 2 days after an American Eagle jet and a military helicopter collided over Washington, D.C. Federal transportation investigators now working to download the data from the so-called black boxes from both aircraft. Meanwhile, recovery teams have pulled the bodies of more than 40 people from the Potomac, all 67 people on board the 2 aircrafts, which collided as the jet was on final approach at Reagan National across the river from D.C., are now presumed dead. Today, investigative sources telling NBC News the Black Hawk may have been flying too high and outside its designated corridor when it collided with the CRJ. The FAA has now restricted helicopter traffic around the airport. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Marion County judge decided today to hold a man suspected of murdering his girlfriend without bail. Authorities say the suspect, Tyler Holman, crashed his car while moving her body. A medical examiner determined Ashley Gandolfi died from a gunshot wound. Gandolfi's mom was in court today to ask the judge to keep Holman behind bars, in part out of concern over her family's safety. In southeast Portland, 3 people, including 2 teenagers, are now in custody following an alleged carjacking. Police say a driver had his car stolen at gunpoint at southeast 143rd and Stark around 10 Wednesday morning. Officers later say they spotted the stolen car about 1.5 miles away. The driver, authorities said, sped off and crashed into a garbage truck. He and 2 others in the car ran, but police caught up and arrested all of them. And a Multnomah County deputy has been convicted of official misconduct in connection with the death of an inmate at the county jail. On Thursday, Deputy James Brockmiller pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor following the 2023 death of 58-year-old Martin Todd Franklin. Prosecutors claim Brockmiller didn't check on Franklin in the hours prior to his suicide. A judge sentenced Brockmiller to 6 months bench probation. He must also surrender his statewide police certification and resign from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office by next week. In the St. Helens School District, a report into the sex abuse scandal by an outside investigator has now been delayed. District officials today said investigators need more time to do additional interviews to ensure their investigation is thorough. The report was supposed to be available last Friday and will now be delayed by 2 or 3 weeks. The investigation, by the way, started after former teacher Mark Collins and current educator Eric Stearns were arrested in November on several charges of sex abuse. St. Helens High School principal Katie Wagner was also arrested. She's accused of not reporting the crimes and is currently on leave.